Hello, my name is Carol May Whittick, spiritual life coach and your host of Her Conversations Tools for the Awakening. Her is an acronym for Higher Energetic Resonance. This is the optimal state to embody in order to attract your highest desires. What is the awakening? This is the moment in time when humanity rises up out of the darkness. Who is awakening? Each one of us present on Earth today, reclaiming our sovereignty, seeking greater possibilities in our reality, and looking for solutions. We know being awakened is not a lofty ideal, but a necessity. If we can transform ourselves, we can change the world. Guests on Her Conversations will speak to your spirituality, sensuality, and soul. Listen to their stories and hear how they are in service to the world. Let their words and these conversations embolden and inspire you. I'm excited to share with you my newest offering, Higher Energetic Resonance Spiritual Life Coaching. When you work with me, I will support your awakening to truth and your innate gifts, aligning with your higher self, flowing with your intuition, and you ascending into your purpose and your fullest expression. You will know that whatever you want to be or do is possible. I intend for you to be unrecognizable to yourself, and that your transformation will serve as an inspiration to those around you in this changing world. For more information, click the link in the show notes or contact me at carolmaywhittick.com. My guest on this week's episode is Diana Jaritz. She is a metaphysician, complementary therapist, crystal healer, essence therapist, as well as a spiritual counsellor, navigator, explorer, and truth seeker. She developed a new spiritual and healing concept, reactivating the multi-dimensionality of her clients, who can then break free and see the truth on a deeper level, know their purpose in life, and how to reach their full potential. During our fascinating conversation, Diana shares her own awakening story and how she came to develop her healing abilities. She also talks about the healing that she offers for people who have taken the COVID injection and explains the effect it has on an energetic level. She also talks about how the past 3 years in particular relate to the ascension of humanity. So as always, I begin by asking my guests, HER is an acronym for Higher Energetic Resonance. When do you feel that higher energetic resonance?
So I feel her in nature. But especially when working with clients, because I have to tune in to the light on a constant basis, and this is where I feel it most. But also when I develop like new spiritual programs, because so when I'm in the light, it gives me more connectedness, inner peace, joy, fulfillment.
Fantastic, thank you. And before we go deeper into this conversation, Diana, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to who's listening and talk about the journey that has led you, from where you were before to the work that you're actually doing today.
In the past, life didn't make sense to me at all. So when you look at life, like you start going to nursery, you start going to school, university, then you work all your life basically, and you get married, you have children, and then you get pension after a certain point, after the age of 60 or after 60. So and then you die. And that's it, and loads of people, especially in the Western world, they don't believe in reincarnation or in, and life like that didn't make sense to me for many years. So I had a really deep feeling all those years, there is something not right, or there is something missing, but I was not sure what it was, So I was searching for something, but I was not sure what I was searching for, So, and then I had an awakening in 2002 when I went to India, because, you are you are brought up in a certain way, and you create a certain belief system, or you see yourself in a certain way, and also the world around you. But that started to crumble when I went to India, because everything was different, you know. So people were different, the way of thinking, their belief systems, so everything was different. So when I came back from India, I was really confused about life. So, and I went into a kind of a crisis, like an inner crisis, and that actually triggered my awakening. So, and I was in this inner crisis for about a year, and then suddenly I had shifts in consciousness. And I could see the world with different eyes. And I found this amazing, you know. But when I came back from India, someone gave me a spiritual book for the first time, basically. So I never came across spiritual books. So, and I was reading that book and I was amazed. And then I started reading other books. And at some point, I had maybe 3 or 4 books reading at the same time. So, and I found this fascinating. So it was like a different world open to me. Yeah. So, and then I found out about healings. So, and I started a healing path. And then I found some healing schools and I attended courses. I went to a healing school in London, and I did a 6-year course. So I did a 2-year diploma course on crystal healing, and everything was so fascinating to me. So, and after those 2 years, we learned a lot. Yeah. About energy healing, spiritual healing, crystal healing. I mean, we touched on so many subjects, and it was just amazing. And I felt after those 2 years, I only know very little. And then I stayed at that healing school, and I did more courses, self-development courses. So basically, I did a 6-year course in London, and I found this. So that was a really good journey. I learned a lot, and that healing school was basically working with energies. Yeah, I also became an essence practitioner. So, and then I came across a different healing school, working with light, working with evolutionary light. And I thought, oh, wow, this is different again, So, and I stayed with that healing school for about 5 years. So, and it was working with evolutionary light frequencies. So, and it was more like working and triggering shifts in consciousness and raising the vibration. So, and at this point, I have to explain there is a difference between energies and light. So energies are like, when you like Reiki energies. Yeah. So when you look at the quality of the energy, so it's more energy than light, even though sometimes we receive a healing, or we go into meditation and we say, I have seen the light or something, but when you look at the quality of it, it comes more under energies. Yeah. So, and light, evolutionary light is, so you activate. So when you work with evolutionary light, you activate the light instead of channeling the energies. So when you are in a healing session, like let's say with crystal healing or spiritual healing, you are actively involved in the session, in the healing session, and you channel the energies. But with light, you activate the light for a certain period of time. So for example, so I have transformations, in my healing program, where the light glows 10 to 12 hours, or like 3 days, or 1 month. Yeah. So because I activate the light. So that's a difference. So an evolutionary light it's primarily given for the evolution of consciousness, for raising the vibration of the person drastically. So, and it's also governed by higher powers. So those two healing schools gave me a really good foundation. So, and then I developed my own concept. Yeah. So basically, I started working with clients from 2010. So I had a bit of practice and I worked with energies. So, and then I had access to my own evolutionary light. So I was then working with energies and light for a certain period of time. So, but then in my studies and also when reading the books, I came across the matrix and I came across reincarnation. And I found this fascinating, that concept. So I also went to India again, and I went to Buddhist countries, and they always talk about reincarnation. So, and I still remember it was fascinating. So I went to temples and they had wall hangings about the wheel, the wheel of reincarnation. And you're going around in circles until you step out. At one time, I also asked the priest, I was standing in front of this huge wall hanging, and he explained the wheel of reincarnation to me. So I was amazed about that concept. So, and also in spiritual books, they talked about the matrix. So we live in an illusionary reality. So you can actually, so illusion and the matrix, it's actually the same thing. It's just a different wording. So I use the matrix, the word matrix, because lots of people can relate to that. And lots of people have seen the movie, the Matrix. But it's basically stepping out of the illusion. So, and those concepts fascinated me. So, and I asked myself, how can I want to step out of the matrix. I want to step out of reincarnation. So how is that possible? How can I do that? So, and I didn't want to meditate for 30 years in a cave in the Himalayas. And I thought there must be a different way how I can do that. So I searched the internet, I looked around, I couldn't find any concept, how really, in practical terms, how to step out. So I thought, okay, I've got all the tools. I know how to work with energy and light. I know how to tune into things. I learned how to release blockages or disconnect from something in your energy field. So I thought, okay, I have to find it out myself. So let's see. Those days we were a small group of a team. So we looked, because we had different skill sets, and we looked at things and what is the matrix? What does it look like on the energetic level? What is the reincarnation? Then I triggered my first transformation and disconnected from kind of a construct. So we found like a construct on the fourth dimension, and we are connected to that in the energy field. So if you are not psychic, if you don't have any idea about the energetic world, it's really difficult to find out. So basically we walk through life and we think we are free, but we are not. Because our energetic system is connected to that construct called the matrix. And it's a bit like our perception has been hijacked. So, and we can't see the truth. So anyway, so I went through the first transformation, and then I looked, okay, what is the next step? Okay, I'm connected on that level to the matrix, and I'm connected on a different level. So we developed like a program, like a spiritual concept, like a healing program, where the person can, step out of the matrix on all levels, basically. But it's a process. So it doesn't happen overnight. So every time when the person goes through a transformation, we disconnect the person on that level from the matrix. So, and the vibration rises drastically, and the person has shifts in consciousness, and the person sees the truth on a deeper level. So, and then you start seeing things you didn't see before, but it was straight in front of you all your life, but you didn't see it. For some reason, you didn't see it. And I found this fascinating. So I went through all those steps myself because I had to find out where we are connected and, and what we can do and how we can repair the system. So once I stepped out of the matrix, I then compressed it, like a shorter version for clients, because I went the longer way, because I have to find out the path in front of me. So I didn't know before. So it was just stepping in the unknown. Yeah. So, and then I offered the Stepping Out of the Matrix program for the public for the first time in 2013. So that was really exciting, and I received feedbacks from people, and they told me, when you go through a transformation, you are literally transforming from within. So that's in a nutshell, about stepping out of the matrix. But then it doesn't finish there. I found out even more. I basically developed, during a period of 10 years, I developed over 30 transformations. And one transformation is between 2 and 6 months.
And what techniques are you using? Is it a combination of your energy and light work that you're using to do this? Are you incorporating other techniques and modalities?
So nowadays I only work with light, with my evolutionary light frequency, to trigger those types of transformation. So I also use evolutionary essences. So one essence triggers a transformation of 2 months. So most of my essences. So you can take the essence on its own and it triggers a 2-month transformation, or you can take it in combination of a transformation, like a stepping out of the matrix. But basically, I only work with evolutionary light now.
And with regards to the essence, just for my clarification, is it like a tincture, or is it something is it like a rubbing oil? What form does that take?
So it's the essence, it comes in a 10 ml bottle. So, and it's basically channeled information.
Okay.
But with evolutionary light. So, for example, I've got one essence like self-belief. So, but that particular one triggers like a 3-month transformation. So when you take this essence, everything that is not self-belief comes up to the surface first. Everything that is not self-belief. So that's like a deep transformation. So, but when you come out of the transformation, you are vibrating on a higher level, and you can feel it. You can feel you are different from within. So, and when you change within, and you go through several transformations, also your outside world will change.
How would somebody who's experienced that transformation with you, so they see the world differently, they're vibrating higher, what in kind of like everyday terms, how does that change their life in terms of do they change their work, their relationship, do they move somewhere else? Like transformation means so much to...
Yes. So some people, they realize they are actually in the wrong job, or the job has served them for a certain period of time, but now it's a time to move on. So people come to realize there's actually more than what the life can offer at the moment. So everybody has like a life's purpose. So everybody has really amazing gifts and talents. People want to know more about themselves. Yeah. So, and then people realize, this is really not serving me. So, or asking the question, and they move on. They change jobs, or some people they went to a healing path already and did courses, and actually they have all the potential. They have all the skill sets, but they are actually afraid of moving forward and like setting up a healing business, something like that. So when we then release fears and anxiety or anything else that's stopping them, it's then easier to then move forward, to set up the business or even any other business. I mean, it doesn't need to be a healing business. So it depends. So the light will push the person towards their true path, if that makes sense. So people are changing. So the thing is, when people come to me, it is important they have to be willing and open to change, because those transformations will change them. So you have to be open. So if you're not willing to change and you want to stay where you are, then this is not the right path for them. Maybe not at that time, maybe at a later time,
The reason that we connected, or the thing that fascinated me when I found out about you, was in particular like this work that you're doing now about the exit in the Matrix, and the Matrix having been one of those fascinating film/documentaries of mine as well. So that pulled me in. But also particularly when you were speaking about the work that you were doing with people who had, for one reason or another, taken the COVID injection, and how that relates to the body. Because I think, or what I've seen, some people unfortunately are losing their lives, some are experiencing real health issues as a result, or some have been changed energetically and they at that point in time don't know. But then looking at it more, people who are speaking about it on a deeper level, on an energetic level, on a dimensional level, on a soul level, what this is actually doing to people. One of your services is to actually help them through that. So if you can explain exactly what that has done to someone on an energetic level, and then what it is that you do to release them from that, and why it's important.
Yes. So when people came to me who had a jab, I found that they they participated at a healing session, or like a over light transmissions. Then they said, "Oh, I can't feel the light anymore." So, and then I had to find out. So, and we found out that the person received a jab. So, and then, so we had to then find out how that works and what it does, and what we can do about it. So what we found is, so it cuts the divine connection in the, so we have, so we have the chakra system, we have the energetic system. So we have the DNA, and, and we have all the divine links. So we don't have just one or two things. We have loads of divine connections. So, and we have one in the crown chakra going up. So, and that was cut off basically. So, and it creates a split between the soul and the mind. Yeah. So, and it creates blockages in the base chakra and in the grounding links. So, so we have different links going from the base chakra into the earth. So, and this is how we are connected energetically to the earth. So, and this created blockages. Yeah. So, which means the person is not really fully grounded. Yeah. So, and if you want to move forward and you have blockages in the grounding channels, it's really difficult. And what I also found out is that people are, if they are not fully grounded, they are not focused enough. They can't, they don't have clarity even more, than before. Or they have accidents, they have, they are falling over, because they're not fully grounded. Something like that. What we also found that the chakra system is like deactivated, but partial. So it depends how many jabs a person received. So what we found out, so I can't generalize. I only can talk from experiences, what I found out with clients over the past 2 years. Yeah. So the person or the client, if the client had received one jab, the system was deactivated by about 40%. So if they have received 2 jabs, then maybe like 50%, 60%. So, and I had people who came to me who had 3 jabs, and the system, the chakra system, and the aura was deactivated by about 80%.
Wow.
So
And what does that mean? Sorry to cut you, Diana. If their chakra system is deactivated by 80%.
So it means if they would receive a healing, the light would get blocked off by 80% and they only receive 20%.
Got you.
So I gave people a choice. So like the system was activated 50%, deactivated by 50%. I gave people a choice. And I said, I told them, this is what I found. It's now up to you if you want to reactivate your system. Otherwise, if we carry on with healing sessions, you will only get 50% of the benefits. So you will not get the full benefit. And it doesn't make any sense. So that's why most people, not everyone, but most people who came to me, they decided to have their system reactivated. So, and in order to reactivate, so that's why I had to find out, or we had to find out, other people in our team also reactivate systems for people.
So you said that it's like there'd be a cutoff from the base, there'd be a cutoff from the crown chakra, and then if they're going to lose 80%, is it kind of cutting them off, like moving down, like third eye downwards? Or is it kind of just minimizing 80% of all of them? Because if it's just moving that way, then maybe their heart would still be intact. Or is it then taking percentages of all the chakras?
So taking percentages of all the chakras, basically. But the connection in the crown chakra was cut off by everybody who came to me, but not, the base chakra, not the grounding channels. They were just blocked.
Right.
Yeah, they were blocked, but they were not cut off. I think that would have been horrendous. Your chakra system has different colors. Yeah, so you have rainbow colors in your energy field. And if you have done lots of work on yourself and you have healed yourself, and you worked on your chakras, your energy field, you remove blockages, you look vibrant. Yeah. And when someone would look into your energy field, they would see rainbow colors. Yeah. So, and the more work you have done, then your aura will becomes very stable and very big. The more your aura grows, the more protected you are. It's also a form of protection. Yeah. So, but when the system gets deactivated partially, so the person is less protected, and also the colors are fading. So, and people can feel it. I asked those people and I said, do you feel different since you received the jab? And they said yes. They all said, most of them said yes. And they said they feel, like disconnected from themselves, or they feel like inner loneliness and or isolation. Some people had this in general anyway before 2020, but it gets worse, with a jab.
With the people who, as we've seen over the course of the years, the media and the propaganda and the messaging was so heavy and the pressure was so deep for people to get it, but there was still a core group of people that, whether they consider themselves to be awake or spiritual or not, there were all different levels of people that just knew that it was wrong. And then there were people in the spiritual community who just went ahead and did it. So what is it that gave people the eyes to see that this was not correct?
I think there are different factors. First, there were people who knew what's going on. and they could see the truth, but they still went for it because of fears. And they knew deep inside them it's not right, but they did it anyway because of fears. Or they thought maybe, if I ignore it, I'm okay. And some people, they could not face the truth. So, and then I think the fear mongering played a big part. Loads of people were tricked into it. But I think that lots of people who didn't go for it and understood and could see the truth right from the beginning, you had like an inner knowing. The thing is, we have been through this many times in the past, many times in previous incarnations. So there were changes on the human genome many times. And this is actually what we are repairing when people starting, the program Stepping Out of the Matrix. This is actually what we are repairing. So, and that's why I already knew, before 2020, I knew that there were genetic changes and experiments so many times in human history. And we have gone through it ourselves. And that's why we are connected to the matrix. That's the reason why we are connected to the matrix and to reincarnation. So, and at some point you have to face the truth. You have to face your own fears, your own shadows. There is no other way. So even people who didn't want to see the truth now, no one is lost. They have a window of opportunity at a later time in future incarnations. We had to wait for the ascension for thousands of years. So, lots of people know about Atlantis. Atlantis was not falling once, it was falling several times because of genetic interferences. So, and you can say Atlantis was falling in terms of vibration. So when you genetically interfere in our blueprint, your vibration goes down. And now it's what we have experienced in 21 with the jabs. It's we have done this already. So, and I think that's why lots of people recognized, even though they couldn't fully understand it, but they had like an inner knowing, this is not right, because we have been through this already many times over thousands of years. When you do a past life regression, you can see it. You can see it for yourself.
So what do you think is where we're going to be moving in the next year even as well? Because the ramifications and the results of people taking those, we're seeing it now. There's an up, even though, they might be trying to hide the numbers or people who are seeing it in front of their faces are not admitting the reality of what's happened, that as a result of their choice, they're actually suffering or they're losing family. How do we evolve forward out of this? How do we do healing? Like, obviously people can come to you, but not everyone can come to you. So what can we do on an individual basis to bring ourselves up and out of this and forward? And then maybe if we have people in our environment, friends and family who made that decision and maybe are open to hear things, to maybe put something in front of them that they might be helping, or are they in that state now that they are going to get pulled further down into the pharmaceutical remedies? Because my thought is, when it gets too obvious to hide, that the reason that so many people are having these health issues, if they stay alive and they have heart issues, cancers, or whatever it's going to be over a longer term, then the pharmaceutical industry will just come out with another cure, and they will perpetuate people into this descent. But there is threads of hope, and there are people who see and want out of it, and even people who realize the error and their choice made out of fear, or because they felt that if I don't do this, I lose my job, I've got children and a house, and I think for many people, they put it in the categories as any other shot. I've taken shots to travel, but now realizing, hang on a minute, I blindly went along with that. But for some reason, this one I just knew. It just was like, no, this isn't it. But then for those who have made that decision, maybe are experiencing some kind of effects, but then want to have some regret or want to kind of redeem themselves or cure themselves or move up and out of that so they don't fall into any other further deception. What are the things that we can do? You talk about healing and kind of looking at our darker side, which we all get faced with, especially when we start a healing journey of understanding and we want to really move on with our spiritual work. What can people do? What tips and help can you offer?
I mean, people who are not spiritual and are not open to healing work, I have seen other methods. First, you need to realize that there is something wrong and you want to change and you want to find out how to, like detox, your system. So, but for spiritual people, for people who, walk the healing path, there are many modalities. So if people come to me, so I would then reactivate the system. The transformation takes about 4 to 6 months. And then, and the system is then fully how it was before. So, but what I have to also say, we are in an ascension process. So Earth and humanity, we have been in this ascension process for many years. So, and we are moving forward in big steps, vibrationally. So if you want to keep up, you have to work on yourself, any healing modalities. So you have to release fears and karma and, or any density in your system in order to move forward in life and also in terms of, paths of ascension, because there will be an event happening where humanity and the earth will shift to the fifth dimension, and it will be an event in the future. So, and it will happen in this incarnation. Everything what we have been going through is a big change. So, and people are sorting out their lives now. Even people who are not open to healing work. So they are faced now with sorting out their lives. So, and that's why everybody is busy at the moment. You can sort out your life and change things on different levels. So, and this is very important. And 2020 was, in spiritual terms, I mean, it was definitely horrendous and it was, chaos everywhere. But on the spiritual side, it was an amazing year. I don't know if you have noticed. I had people contacting me and they said, I have never felt so free in my life like now. Am I okay? Because they couldn't understand it. They say, there is, it's crazy out there, but I feel great. I've never felt so great in my life. So how is that possible? So, and because in 2020, it was the year of evolution. End of each year, we tune into the coming year to find out the quality or the theme of that year. When we tuned in end of 2019, the message was, it will be the year of evolution. And I thought, oh, wow. So what is that? What does it mean? In practical terms. So, and then we found out that there was a cosmic event every single month. So energies came to our planet and raised the vibration drastically. And that's why lots of people had shifts in consciousness, even though they didn't know what it was or, how that was triggered. So the foundation for that ascension event that is going to happen in the future, so the foundation was laid in 2020. Every month there was a cosmic event. So a cosmic event is, for example, we have those solstices and equinoxes. These are cosmic events So certain type of energies enter this planet, and we can use those energies for us. So we offer 24-hour light transmissions during those cosmic events. So I offer 8 light transmissions per year. So when you do a healing, or when you do a meditation or a ritual or a ceremony, if you do those on those particular days, it's more powerful. Yeah. So, and that's why I offer 24-hour light transmission on those days. So, and I've been doing this since 2012. So for me, cosmic events are very important. So we can then align ourselves with those cosmic events. And when I activate the light on top of it, it's, very powerful. So, and that's why I knew about cosmic events. But when we were told there are cosmic events every month in 2020, so we looked into it, and I then created a timetable on my website under Ascension. So you see a timetable, what we perceived at that time. 3 major events happened in 2020. So in April 2020, we were heading, so since January 2020, we were heading towards 0-point event. So I also explained, so I sent out newsletters. I explained it to people who, to understand what's happening on the spiritual level. So we were heading towards that 0-point event. And that was something very significant after, I don't know, thousands of years. There is a field of consciousness on this planet, and the collective consciousness can raise to a certain limit. So we can't go further than that. Once we reach that limit, then something needs to happen, like a cosmic event. So and this happened in April 2020. So the fields of consciousness were exchanged. So it was like a reset and a new beginning. From that point onwards, we can now raise the collective consciousness further, because we reached the limit before, So, and we supported that event with a light transmission. So people could register, they received the light, and they could do a reset within themselves at the same time. So, and that was really powerful. So, and then we had further cosmic events. So every month something happened, but then that was the 0-point was created a foundation for the ascension. So it's a bit difficult to explain because we don't really have the words for it. Yeah. So it's so 3 major events happened in autumn 2020. So there was, the first ascension, the second ascension, and third ascension. So, and what that means, it was an aspect of that person was created on the 5th dimension with a connection to the 3-dimensional self. But all people could only ascend who had a high enough vibration. So you need some forerunners. So, and that's also part of the, it was like the first year of evolution, but it was still a preparation for the big event that is coming in the future. So even if you didn't know about it, some people could feel it. So people could feel that they were connected to higher levels. So millions of people were ascending. An aspect was created on the 5th dimension of that person with a connection to the 3D level. And since then, the person is now going forward in big steps, and the person also receives like downloads and updates on a constant basis, even if you're not aware of it. So everybody ascended in 2020 who had high enough vibration. All the years to come, many people can still raise their vibration. So, and we asked after 2020, we then asked, and I said, how about all those other people who didn't had an aspect created on the 5th dimension? And we were given a transformation where we can trigger that. So when a person comes to me, and the person has a high enough vibration, So I check that. Then we can trigger that transformation, and it takes about 3 months. So, and an aspect gets created on fifth dimension. So, and you can only do that with light frequencies, with evolutionary light. Do you know what I mean? So you can't do that with energies. And that's why there is this, difference. Everybody who comes to me who still need to raise their vibration in order to do that transformation. So there is a karma release program, and after the karma release program, everybody has reached this level of vibration, and then they can, go through the ascension. So I call it the ascension healing.
Clearly, for people who can see, there's a mechanism of control, and there's a mechanism that is trapping many people, mentally, spiritually, on a soul level, in this plane, in this dimension, however you want to speak about that. How do people break free from that if they're not? There are people who have this aspect of themselves now created on the fifth dimension. What happens when there is that ascension? Are there people who ascend to fifth dimension? Are there people who are left trapped within the mechanism of control because they haven't had that aspect of themselves? They haven't raised their vibration high enough. What is your explanation of that?
That's a good question. I mean, it's a bit difficult to know how that will play out, because we can only see things or check things out when it happens, or just shortly before it happens. So like, in 2020, we didn't know that there will be a year of evolution, so, and we just found this out. So, so when this event is going to happen in the future, so we will find out. Everybody who raise their frequency over the next 10 to 20 years, it will be easier when the event happens. People haven't done the work, I think it will be more difficult. But then there are also lots of people to help, and at the end of the day, it has always been about the ascension process, and that's why the deception happened. So to make it harder for people to ascend. So the thing is, if you have, a 5-dimensional self created, and the event happens in the future, but you die in the meantime because your time is up, then you only incarnate on that level. So all the other incarnations will only happen on the fifth dimension. So you have done the work. So you have done a lot of work over many incarnations. So people who are healers now, or people who are receiving healings, they have been in the healing environment for many incarnations. So it's not just now. So it's actually, so it has been a long process since basically Atlantis, I guess. So, and we had to wait all those years, all those incarnations, to finally be in this position. So, and that's why loads of people have incarnated now at this time, because they want to experience it, because it's something really unique. So, and by the way, Earth is not ascending alone. There are many other planets that in our universe that are going to ascend at the same time. And they're also going through big changes. But for some reason, Earth is the key. So if the Earth is not ascending, all the other planets are not ascending. So, and that's why loads of people wanted to be here at this time.
You said a little while, and it's not to pin a date on you, because there are so many people speaking on so many different levels, like giving dates as to when they feel that ascension event is going to happen. Do you have any thoughts, or have it like in your readings or anything that you'll feel in our lifetime? So are we 1 decade away, 2 decades away? I've seen a million different dates. I've seen 2023, 25, 2040, and everything in between. So
what we have been told is that since 2020, since the year of evolution, we've been going through a purification process, and that will last for another 10 to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess any time after that, it's difficult to say. So I think nobody really knows. Can only do, so maybe there are other cosmic events where people can ascend in the future. We don't know. So, like in 2020, we were just told a month before. So we had no idea.
Mm.
So we can only take one step at a time and see what is in front of us. So what is really important for people who are awake to sort out their lives and to face their fears. The thing is, it's not just one awakening. So the awakening is actually, it has many steps.
Mm.
Yeah. So you can awake even deeper and you can see the truth even deeper. It's a bit like it's never ending. You will be okay by, moving forward. And if you are in a position that it doesn't serve you any longer, just move away, and do the work, go within. So, I mean, there are so many healing modalities out there. You have to find the right one that is, right for you at that time.
Mm.
So that's quite important to do the work, keep moving forward, on all levels, basically. So, and walk the path of truth and purity and love, especially.
Beautiful. Diana, thank you so much. It's I've waited months to speak to you as well. And just in speaking to you, I've just been if anyone who ever listens to my podcast knows that I ramble sometimes, but I've been wrapped in just listening to every word that you've said. And just before you do go, like when we spoke, because we met briefly in person last year, that you said that you were creating that healing center. How is everything going with that?
It's still ongoing. So
Okay.
I've got a property in Germany. So so when my last long-term tenants moved out, then I converted it into a guest house first. So that was finished a few years ago, and now it's the next step to convert it into a healing center. So it's still ongoing. So maybe I mean, this is a situation at the moment. You have to wait for materials. You have to wait for companies, and let's see, maybe another year or two until it will be finished. So
no problem. Well, when it happens, I'm sure people will need that, especially as more people awaken and really realize what it is that is happening right now and what it is they need to do. And we'll seek out people like yourself as well, especially for the work that you're doing. And can you just let everybody know how to find you online or how to contact you if they want to take part in any of the healing modalities that you do?
So my website is dianajaritz.com. So it's DianaJaritz.com. So on my website, you find dates for exhibitions. So I usually have a store at the Mind, Body and Spirit, Mind, Body and Soul exhibitions in London Olympia, London Alexandra Palace, in Birmingham. So before 2020, I also did Manchester, but that's on hold for some reason. So, and I also had a store at shows in Germany, Austria, Switzerland. So basically in 4 countries. So, and my store name was Stepping Out of the Matrix. So because of that title, so I attracted, very interesting people. So people can, see me there. So, and I offer 24-hour light transmissions. So I sent out the invitations like a week before. So, but there is like all the dates, all healing events. So I actually offer altogether, I offer 17 healing events per year. So, and the list with all the dates are on my website. So, but if you're registered on my newsletter, you will get the invitations automatically. And in terms of reactivating the system, if someone wants to had, like a jab and want to reactivate or restore their energetic system, so they can contact either me or one of my team. So we are a team of 7 people. 5 of us have access to their own evolutionary light frequency. So they have their own, client base, and but we come together for certain projects, or when something comes up like cosmic events or something, that is out of the ordinary. So so the people can contact either me or Ian. So Ian Mills. So at wunjolight.com. So it's WONJOlight.com, wunjolight.com. So because I'm, sometimes I'm quite booked and people have to wait for a few weeks. So this is where people basically can, find me. So, and all the information is on my website under Ascension. If someone wants to read things, what happened the past 3 years.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time and this conversation. I've spoken about it even before I've recorded it, and there are many people who want to hear it prior to it even being recorded. So know already that there are ears really keen to hear what you're saying about what you're doing. So thank you.
Okay, thank you too. Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you so much, Diana, for sharing your wisdom and speaking to me on this episode, and thank you for listening. Once again, you can find out more about me and coaching on my website, which is carolmaywhittick.com, CarolmaeWhittick.com. You can find me on Facebook under Carol May Whittick, on Instagram as Casmic, CAZMICK, and on Telegram, Her Conversations and Inspirations. So wishing you the best on your week, and also remember I have a sister podcast now, Higher Energetic Resonance Inspirations. Take care.